be able to go to bed and rest and, you know, I'm done for the night. No. Okay. Not done for the night. So, all right, here I am with another message like this. This just won't leave me, so I don't know if somebody's just not taking heed to the message, or they don't want to hear it. They trying to hear it, or they're still just like, well, I don't know, I could be wrong. No, you're not wrong. I'm getting, okay, it's one thing to deal with somebody and know that they're into spiritual stuff, and it's easy for you to suspect, okay, yeah, he or she, I'm getting more so he wouldn't do that, or he would do that. Yeah, I can see him doing that because he's into spiritual stuff, and we talked about certain things. He's knowledgeable about spiritual things, but it's always the ones that don't practice or say that they don't practice. But what Spirit was showing me is that the reason why someone is not able to free themselves from a connection is because they're dealing with a warlock of many generations. They don't, probably themselves don't even know what they're doing, but they come from a bloodline, and I'm getting something with a grandfather or something, or a great grandfather, that I don't care if they're a deacon of a church, their grandfather was a deacon at the church or whatever, granddaddy was a master skilled magician or something, a Freemason, something with the occult, or their parents are into that shit, whatever. Excuse my language. But this person is like, you don't think that they would do certain things, and why does this person have my mind the way that they do? It's something that works through their veins. It's just in their blood. And that's why I talk about, I don't talk about it often. I need to talk about it more, but like generational traumas and stuff, and generational curses and things on the bloodline that we don't know that our ancestors agreed to, what type of stuff they were into, why we might be led to do the things that we do. And that's why it's very important that we earnestly seek the divine for ourselves. And that's why I don't believe in all the ancestor work like that. Like, when I do, I always use my discernment, like, okay, is this an ancestor that has good intentions? Are they, um, divinely willed to work in my life or with me? Or should I be connecting with them? Because some of them didn't live good lives, and some of them did not clear their own stuff before they left this earth. And some of them were wicked people, or they just did things in their ignorance. And that stuff can still be on your bloodline. So some of these people, these dudes, they don't know what they're doing. But when you go back and you like sit with it, and you just be like, oh damn, like I'll never forget something that Spirit showed me. Like, I'll never forget it. Like, I'm just like, you gotta be careful out here, because you be like, why is it that I'm so stuck? Because you're under a spell. Like, you don't even know it. And even more when you've had sex with somebody, and yes, a person that knows some stuff and they dabble in things, they're dangerous. But it's like, wow, the revelations. But the people that don't know, they're just out here, and they're manipulative people, and they may not know like what's working within them, or they subconsciously in their bloodline, they know how to do certain things, you know what I mean, to manipulate people, manipulate energies. But some of these people are going out of their way to keep you stuck. The whole premise of this is, and you can tell the difference, and Spirit is about to expose somebody's situation, like a person that they're dealing with, or think that, oh, okay, well, I see that he wasn't it. I know he wasn't the one. Okay, well, he ain't shit, blah, blah. No, it's more to it than that. You'll start to notice how it's like energy vampire-ish. It's narcissistic, like, but at the same time, it doesn't look like this person would ever do that to you because of X, Y, and Z, and you feel this deep connection. This person's higher self, and I had this discussion before with somebody close to me. One of my sisters, she would always say, like, not everybody's higher self is good, and I believe that, because there's people here that take orders from something that's not benevolent. It's a more of a benevolent energy or spirit. So some people, they don't know why they're attracted to you. In their mind, I mean, they could be thinking, oh, I'm about to get this girl, I'm about to sleep with her, and I'm about to use her, or oh, she's just an easy, something, an easy come up, an easy lay, or somebody that I can manipulate to feed my ego. But a lot of it is that spirit in them is looking at you, and it wants to take from you. It wants to kill, steal, and destroy. It was a movie that just came to mind. It was a movie with what's her name, Journey Smollett, I think. Um, it was a Tyler Perry movie, I think, and it was an older woman telling her story about when she was younger and she was married. I believe the husband was Lance Gross, the actor Lance Gross. I can't remember what the other guy, the side dude's name was, but he was a leech in her life. He came into her life because she was at, and that's when the enemy creeps. It feeds on our desperation. It feeds on our weakest moments, our most vulnerable moments. So she was bored with her relationship, her marriage. She was bored with her life a little bit. She was like this mousy, quiet girl, kind of. And then here comes this guy, this dark knight, dark and handsome dude, this mysterious, you know, high value man that just comes in and just flips the whole shit, and he ruins her life. He starts off with ruining her marriage, and he gets her all twisted up, gets her on drugs, and she has, she's got AIDS and stuff. Like, she just ruined her life. And sometimes it be like those people that come in and they seek to destroy you. And you have to be so careful. And I'm so grateful that God blocked a lot of situations, because I feel like I dealt with a lot of warlocks. And even if you yourself partake in certain things, you don't do stuff to hurt people. You ain't going out of your way like, oh, I'm going to do this to this dude or this person. They may be mad. And some people might say, oh, our ancestors did it, so if somebody pisses me off, I have a right to put roots on them and all that stuff. I don't, it's extra. Sometimes a battle, you ain't even got to put your hand in nothing. And whatever is meant to be, the universal karma is going to deal with it. I don't got to go out of my way to hurt somebody, right? But some of these people, they'll look at you, and the darkness in them does not like the light in you, and they're already automatically out to get you. And they may not even know this. They might just think, oh, I'm just being a player, oh, I ain't shit, blah, blah, blah. But these warlocks, you'll start to notice, it's almost like they purposely do things to hurt you. And then they fall back into the trap of, oh, well, I'm so sorry, oh, this, and they're very flattering, right? They're very flattering, but they're low-key, throwing jabs at you. And that's why I say, if you really pay attention, a lot of the men or women too, can do this towards men or other, if it's same-sex relationships. But I noticed that more than ever in heterosexual relationships, that these toxic men, these narcissistic men, they exhibit a lot of jealousy towards the women or towards their woman, right? They'll do things, they'll degrade her, they'll talk down to her, they'll beat her down, but you'll still sleep with her, right? You'll still sleep in the same bed as her, you'll still have sex with her raw, you'll do all this stuff, but she's your enemy, you can't stand her. But it's a demon in this person that can't stand you. So what I noticed with certain guys or whatever, and I'll never forget, this person, I don't even know if they knew some of the shit that they would do. I would peep it because I would be in tune and I would be paying attention to certain things, and I would notice certain magic shit that would just be happening. I'd be like, I don't even know if he knows he's doing that. And I'll use this as an example. So one of my sisters, she was out on a date with somebody, and she told me this story, and I believe it. She said that this guy she was out on a date with, he was playing he slipped something in her drink. He did a little hand gesture, he was playing, he dropped something in her drink, right? He was bloop, made a noise. And she said after that, I hope she don't mind me telling this story, but after that, it was she started to feel funny, literally he put something in her drink, but he didn't put anything in her drink. He was playing. But it's all energy, right? It's all about intentions. It's like the same thing when you speak to your water, you could speak blessings and life over it, or you can say dirty things to it and the water will turn like a dirty color or whatever. So he put his intentions in there, right? So I'm thinking about certain things that I've witnessed and I've noticed, but because this person clearly would make it known that, oh, they don't, oh, I'm this and I do this and I do that, you wouldn't think that. But their bloodline, you don't know what this person, like what their family was into. And I'm getting that. And some of them, they know what they're doing. Another sign of this too is that they go out of their way to hurt you. And they might snap out of it and be like, the dude's like, oh, I didn't mean to put my hands on you. I didn't mean to hit you. They black out. That spirit comes over them and they just blank out and then they forget. Or like I've had situations where I've noticed, and I feel like this is a bitch ass move that some men do, like to ensure that they still have control over you. We think it's them trying to say like, oh, I'm pretending like I got all these women to make you jealous because I care so much about you. No, it's to get you to submit. It's to get you to get in line and see them as like, oh, he's my prize. I don't want to lose him. Like, it's all a game. Women do it too, but just, and I think it's just so lame when men do that. Like, I'm going to use this woman as a prop to like piss you off and to get a rise out of you, to feed off of your emotion and off of your needing, or you think you need me. And even worse, the ones that be like playing into the whole thing of making you think that they feel this connection with you and they know you feel that, but it's really a spell that's casted over you. And a lot of times they can't do it without your agreements to it. So if you're at a vulnerable spot in your life, let's say you're lonely or you're bored with life, or you just got out of a relationship, or you could be in a relationship you're not happy with, that is when those agents usually get sent in your life, because your defenses are not up. You're open season, you're open game. Spirit even showed me in a dream this dude biting my neck. Like, and he said it, you're my favorite neck. I'm just like, what the fuck? Not my favorite neck. I'm just like, it's not funny, but I'm like, God was showing me some shit. Like, not, I'm your favorite neck. Like, what the fuck? Like, no. Like, no, you're not feeding off of me. Like, it's just too much. But then I had another dream of somebody that I've never even dealt with or have no interest in at all. Never showed any romantic interest in this person. And this person coming to my dream is like a little monster demon thing chasing me when I'm with someone else in the dream. So their spirit will show you certain things, show you people's energies and their character. But I forgot what I was gonna say. It was something like the dream that I had. Oh, you're most vulnerable. So if you meet somebody at that time in your life where you're bored in a current relationship, or you're bored with your dating life, or you don't have a dating life, or you're bored with your work or your job, or you're tired of this, you need something exciting in your life, whatever, or you're depressed, this person comes in flattering you, their defense is down, and spirit took me back into the moment. It was like this person was like, they were prepping me. They was getting me ready for they was prepping me. They were conditioning me. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you. They were conditioning me, and me in my vulnerable state, I was not discerning what was going on, and I'm thinking that, oh, maybe this is something divine that's happening. But people can manipulate energies. They can manipulate things to make it seem like it's meant to be, and we can manifest things into alignment. And if you agreed with yourself, with your defenses down, you agreed to something unknowingly, you're going to start to align with the manifestations, and then you're going to start partaking in it because you're thinking, oh, this is something I want. So you're going to put your energy into it, and then the momentum is going to start to build up. But the thing is, though, that you have to discern, there's always a red flag. The person that is divinely meant for you, that's sent to you, divinely sent to you and you to them, it's not going to be a whole bunch of mess in the midst. This person's not going to be hurting you, going out of their way, constantly hurting you back to back, doing certain things. like I said, the jealousy. You can tell they're jealous of you. They do things to poke at you, to poke at your insecurities. That is not love. Like, I don't care what nobody thinks. Like, that's not love in any capacity, whether it's from a friend, if it's from a family member. They know that something hurts you and they're constantly poking at that thing. They're exploiting your wounds against you. That's not. And then another thing was too, I would notice a lot of mirroring going on, but I feel like it was a lot of feeding off of your energy. And I'm gonna use my sister as an example. I hope she don't mind. But when you go back and you look at certain things, you're like, oh shit. And she even said herself, she's like, he was feeding off my energy. Like, he would like feed off of her. And I think it was 2 instances that we can take this into account, where a dude was like, her career was like, you know, where it was, and then theirs would be excelling a bit. You know, they would be putting out stuff and projects, and she would still kind of be at a certain space or whatever. And she would put all of her energy into them. That's another thing too, feeding. You're putting all of your energy, what you should be putting into your own purpose and your own path, you're putting it all into him. And they're getting the benefits of your light, and they're creating things and moving and going places, and you're just still here. And sometimes that's by design. Like, you know, you might be meant to help someone birth themselves out, but if you find yourself constantly investing and putting energy into somebody and they're not pouring into you, your life is still the same. They're not support. That was another thing too, was a lot of red flags with that. It was a lot of red flags with that. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It's gonna take a very special man to be able to be with me. I'm telling you, because it's like this something women always feel like they have to let me know that I ain't shit or something, or like shit on me, like, and I don't get it. These would be people you're dating or you're sleeping with, and they make a point to, oh, you're not this, or oh, this is whack. And but if you think it's whack, like, well, tell me what, you know, give me something to, you know, work on or to be better. But no, it's like, I'm gonna beat you down, I'm gonna prove to you, and then I'm gonna boast this other person up in front of you. And sometimes I think it might be a tactic to not only just brainwash you, bring you down, to make themselves feel good. And sometimes men do that because they're too immature to tell you that they're not interested, or they just do little stupid stuff. But yeah, anyway, but the whole competition with you too, like a man like competing with you, they're dangling women in your face to control you, to get a rise out of you, to get you back into submission. And when they see you move on to someone else, this is the oldest trick in the book, don't ever fall for it. When they see that you've moved on and you're happy, they're always going to try to come back and make you feel special, or they'll do the very bare minimum. They'll like a picture, or they'll look at your story, or they'll look at a Snapchat. Or I ain't got no Snapchats, but you know, they do that. They go on your Snapchat and they don't say nothing to you, and you be like, oh, he must still care. No, he doesn't. He's being nosy. He wants to see what you're doing. And on top of that, it's to get you to connect back with him, get back in line with him, start feeding all of your energy, hoping and wishing and waiting. They don't have any intent. Like, it's all a game. It's all mental and emotional and spiritual manipulation and feeding off of your energy. That's all they're doing. Like, that's all that is. So you have to be able to discern that. Like, especially when you get with someone else, then it's always, oh, I fucked up. Oh, or they don't even say that. Some of them nowadays, they don't even gotta do that. They can just hop on somebody's Instagram, Facebook, or Snapchat story, or text them some little one stupid liner, and then they know that you get all, oh my God, he did this, oh, he said this, oh, and it ain't even shit. Like, when you go back and you think, like, girl, like, he wasn't giving you anything. Like, what are you getting geeked up about? Like, what is this? Like, but that shows where the wounding is, and it's so hard to break that spell. What time is it? It's 12:06 here. That number is funny too. Spirit, you funny. I dealt with a list of warlocks. I'm telling you, like, a list of them. And they love attention. They love your attention. They love your desperation. They love it. Not that they love it in a way of, oh, I want to be with her. Oh, the damsel. It's like, bitch, yeah, give me some more. the wounding, you don't know any better, you're too ignorant to see, you're too emotional. Feed me some of that, because I don't got emotions. I don't have emotions to give, but give me yours. Yeah, because I can pretend like, I could pretend like I have feelings and I can vibe with you, but really I don't feel anything. Just, yeah, just feed me. That's all I'm here for. Feed me until the other ones come and they feed off of me and I feed off of, because it's always a cycle too. I notice that usually those type of dudes, they always run after the real shady heifers, like the real bitchy, real manipulative, the ones that will dog a man out and show him he ain't shit. They like that type, because those types are the ones that usually have been abused by their own mothers, right? Mothers that can't give them anything emotionally, can't love them. So when they see a woman that is nurturing, and in their woundedness they overextend, and I've shared this before, I've done this plenty of times with men, plenty of times. When I was younger, I used to be a little more I had more confidence in myself at that time when I was younger. And I think that because I was misguided, I didn't have the proper mothering, nor fathering. So when I got to a certain age and I was sheltered most of my life, I was wilding. But I felt like, oh, I can use this to my advantage. And I wasn't pouring into dudes like the way when I started to get older, and that desire for a mate and desiring to want to settle down, when you haven't healed that little girl, you haven't healed that wounded child, she starts to pour it, like she starts to spill out in her interactions with others. So that was that. So I found myself being the one, what maybe they call the pick-me's. It wouldn't be to the extent where I would try to tear other women down to make myself look better. Like, oh, like, if I'm gonna call it like I see it. If somebody is a hoe, then they're a hoe. I'm gonna call it as it is. Or someone that's not of their highest good, I'll call it out. But it'll never be to prove why I'm better than the next one. It was always, I'm gonna show you that I can love, like, because I would see the wounding in people, and naturally you want to extend that, but some people don't want that. They don't want that love. They do deep down, but inside they don't, because they don't know how to take it. So my mom is like this towards me, or my dad was this towards me, or my dad was never around, but my mom was always avoidant of emotions. Let's say it's a man that's dealing with a mom that couldn't give, or she was never available, or she was always chasing after men. So they might have grown to kind of despise that type of woman, or they felt like that was normal, so they would be attracted to the woman that was always, dogging them out, right? Making them feel like an option, and that the mommy issues is like, well, no, you need to love me. It reminds them of their mother, so they're going to chase after that type of woman because you need to love me. It's like my mom would, she's chasing after dudes and she's never around, and she never took time to appreciate me, or my dad's not around, so I'm going to cling to the woman that treats me like shit because I need her validation. Subconsciously, I need that validation because that's what I felt with my mother. So then here comes the chicks like me with the wounding, the opposite wounding of let me prove, because even the women with that dog people out, that are narcissistic, they have no emotions, they're avoidant of that, is because they too have experienced that. They just register it differently. And some of them they have dark spirits in them too. Some of them are incubus or succubus spirits. So they play on that energy too. It's all energy game. That's all it is. So the ones, the wounded young girls, right? And they grow into women, and then they follow after these broken men. Let me fix you because I'm a fixer-upper. I'm an empath that has not been appreciated. So let me just forget about my issues and what's your problem? Tell me what your problem is. And these ones are just like, oh no, I don't want that. I don't want it. Yeah, I'll take what you have to give because it feeds me, so I can go feed this other heifer over here that's going to take from me, and she's going to keep it moving wherever she's going to go, wherever her energy is going to go. So it's a cycle. Until you break that cycle, it starts, and I'm going to say this again, it's self-love. And it's self-love gives you discernment. It gives you boundaries, because when you soon as you see something and you spot something in your spirit that doesn't feel right, your defenses are going to go no, what is this? When you're wounded and your defenses are down, you're going to be like, oh, he's a hurt puppy, let me go pick him up. And then the dog bites you and you're just like, fuck, why'd he bite me? Because he don't, it's not okay for you to walk over to a wounded dog and think that you can handle them just openly. It's not going to happen. Or you see a snake on the ground and you try to pet the snake and the snake is going to bite you and you're shocked by it. You have to have discernment with everything and everyone, even yourself. It starts with yourself. You have to be able to like tune into yourself, and this is something that I've had to like strengthen and navigate throughout the years with people, and just not romantically. Filtering energy, because there's always something in you that goes, ugh, something's off. I don't know why that just made me feel like that, or why when I just got around this person my stomach dropped or my heart dropped in a bad way, or when I look at them they're smiling at me and they're saying all this stuff, but something just don't sit right with me, right? Something just don't add up. Or spirit will constantly create blockages and you'll constantly be like, why, God? Why can't this happen? Cause no, you're being spared. And in some instances, I have to be grateful that, because I was supposed to meet this person. This was like years ago. I thought this person was my, little stupid little twin flame stuff. And I fed into it because my discernment wasn't all the way there, and I had other people co-signing it. And you got to question their intentions and their motives, why they were saying it, or, was it just to make money? Was it just to feed off of me? Was it just to, or because they were in the same situation and they were just projecting their own, false connection into mine, because you connect with people at a time where you're kind of in the same space. So this guy, he would leave me on red for days, and then he would respond, and then he was in LA and I was in LA at the same time, and I was like, hey, we should meet up. And he was like, yeah, we could do that, blah, blah, blah. Then he was like, oh, well, I gotta go to Vegas. I can't right now. I got something to do. Okay, all right, whatever. Then you be nosy, and then you see on their shit that they in Vegas, and then they're out with like chicks and shit, they partying and all that. So you just gotta be like, you have to be discerning with stuff. Like, you have to be discerning, and nobody wants someone that's always available to them in that way. And in my energy, I was very naive and very ignorant to things. You have to, with the right person, you can be safe, and that's why it's important to heal too. Because it's not always that you have to go in with warrior mode with everything and everybody, but if something doesn't feel right in your spirit, you got to move accordingly, and there's no excuse. You can't make no excuses for that. But if it be that it is a good person and those vibes happen to be right, you can't go in looking at that person with the same eyes as you would with the person that something is off with. It's not fair. So you have to heal. Your own inner compass has to say, okay, this feels right to me. I feel safe. If you go back in a time where you thought something was what it was and it ended up not to be, if you go back and you really sit with that, your spirit, your soul, your body, everything told you no. Because it's always something that's not right. It's always something that does not feel right. Or there's a block, or someone else is warning you. And I remember, like, people would encourage me with this one guy because of who he was and stuff. Like, he was popular, whatever. So everybody was like trying to, like, this was years ago. This was like, damn, I was pretty young back then. This probably was like, I want to say like maybe 5-6 years ago, actually, 5 or 6 years ago. And this person was real popular at the time. And everybody was like trying to promote that because, oh, it's a status thing, but they're not thinking about it from a perspective of like discernment, like, he might not really be for her. And fast forward into other things, people would warn me about certain people, and I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear it. And it's not so much I didn't want to hear that. I felt like I had my own agenda. I already had it made up in my mind what something was, even though my spirit was already telling me that something's not right. And when you're wounded, you don't see that you're taking breadcrumbs, that you're being breadcrumbs. So it's easy for these spirits or these people that work under these dark energies, or just people that are wounded themselves, to feed off of that. And you also have to be careful that you don't become the narcissist because you don't want to be hurt by one, so you subconsciously become a narc. So I always have to check myself on that, because everybody deserves a fair chance to an extent. I mean, at least the good people do. So you can't go in thinking that everybody is out to get you. You can't walk like that. So that's what spirit's really been molding me in that area. And I feel like for those of you that are meant to take this message in the way that it's, you know, tailored for you personally, in your own personal experience, only you will know. But these warlock energies, like, some people don't know what they're doing. They don't know. And you might have certain contracts with certain people, and you'll know that you're being blocked because it's like your life is stagnant, this person's life is moving forward. Or they're poking at certain things that hurt you. They're not edifying you in any way. And it's like a false, they'll throw you a bone, and that'll trip your mind and make you think, okay, no, it's not bad. Oh no, they're not doing that to me. It's all to throw you off. Even if they don't know it or not. You got to be able to see past the game of it all. A person that has pure intentions in the beginning, they're going to show you that they have pure intentions. There's no games. And usually when you deal with those type of people, there's always a game. It's always a motive. It's always something strategic that they do, that they say. You know what I mean? And I do believe that some of them felt bad for what they did, because I feel like some people genuinely, they have a heart, they're just very wounded and very broken, or they snap out of that where they get kind of, they're a puppet to that spirit that they've opened themselves up to control them. So when they snap out of it, that part of them is like, they feel bad, because I've had a couple of people actually like try to warn me like they ain't shit, and I didn't listen, because I was fixated on how I felt. And they say the heart of a man is deceptive. It's deceiving. And what that means is that our emotions, they sway. They're never fully settled. And if you're only ruled by your emotions, you're not ruled by your logic and your spirit. You're so moved by the flesh's emotions and the swaying of your mind and the impressions and this. It's easy to be deceived. It's easy. Somebody can tell you that they love you today, and if that person's love is based off of something conditional or based off of what they felt at the time, you can't rely on that. I know that your love is pure and it's true when there's no condition to it. It's not because of how I made you feel, or because, oh, it was just convenient, or, oh, because you look like this, or because it has nothing to do with those things. You know what I mean? It just is, right? And that's very hard to find in any type of situation, not warm, just with love relationships, in any type of dynamic or connection with people. It's very rare. You know, and we can take it one step further, that people that are your parents, you think because they give birth to you that they're going to love you unconditionally. That's not true. Again, we're all human. So if you don't have the capacity to love in any instance, you can't give that to a child. Even you can't even give that to a child. It's really, like I said, it's rare to find that, and it sounds bad, but it's really true. But again, in this life, it's going to teach you that you need to have that contrast so you can see what real family represents, what real unconditional love represents, what real friendship represents, what a real mothering spirit or father energy. You have to experience that, and one of the first ways that you're going to experience it is that of the spirit. Being in that connection with spirit, with your creator, that's where you get it first. Because everything out on the outside, they can't validate you, because it too also comes from its creator. So it's not, you can't depend and rely on that outside of you. But this is a long message, but I said all that for a purpose of freeing somebody because Spirit just gave me that whole download, and I'm like, okay, I know how I get. I might forget it, or it's not going to be as potent. The message is not going to be as potent if I sit on it too long, because I'll forget the things that are kind of coming in. It'll start to come back to me subtly, but if I don't do it and take heed to the message now, it's not going to be quite as clear, if that makes sense. So I'm like, I have to say this, because a lot of people are being deceived, and they're stuck by these connections, by these traps, by these energies. And it really, again, it's not to self-blame or to shame the self. It's just to healthy, you know, a healthy assessment and accountability, if any, you know, needing to take any accountability and responsibility for self, and say, you know what, my heart, I have to take care of my heart first. My heart matters to me. How I feel matters to me. How people treat me matters to me. But most importantly, how am I treating myself? And if I'm not treating myself well, then, you know, I'm sending out that signal to other people that it's okay for them to do me in a way that's hurtful. Again, but all of that is not so much a disadvantage, because it's actually showing you a character of certain people. So therefore you can, when you smell that type of character again, you can be like, I'm good. And then you can tell the difference between pure people, because sometimes it's hard to, when you've been wounded, you can look at everybody from a place of that, and that's another thing too, that you don't want to become a victim of becoming either the person that adopts the narcissistic behavior or patterns or characteristics, or the person that's shutting everybody and pushing everybody away because of what this person or that person did, because they spoiled it for everybody else. And it's also like you giving up on yourself, because you're taking yourself out of, you know, life. Life is just, it's a one big lesson, it's a one big journey, and it's also meant to be not just for our experiences and our lessons, but for our pleasure and our joy, and to grow and to expand, and to expand with others, to grow with others, to be inspired by one another, to live a happy, full life as well. And sometimes these things, they're spirit stealers. So that's why it's so important. And we can't tell our kids to wait to have sex until such and such time, because they can have sex when they're married with the wrong man or woman, right? But we want to teach them to follow a path that is of their highest good and what resonates with them, but also with the hope that, you know, they don't repeat the same things that we've done. So I would hope that, you know, our kids would do better, because most of us are clearing karmic patterns and clearing our generational stuff, so we don't repeat it in those same lessons. And in this society, we're taught that we gotta be like hard shells, we gotta be hardened hearts, and we're not supposed to feel, we're not supposed to love, we're not supposed to, like, that's a lie. You know, that's why there's so much darkness now, because everybody's out for themselves. And yes, you gotta be your first priority, because if I'm no good to myself, what good am I to the world, or whatever I'm supposed to do? But I know that my validation comes from the kingdom first, and not from this world, this earth, right? I have dominion over this earth, because that is my birthright that I was given by the Most High. But I'm not to be ruled by it. I'm not to be influenced by it. I'm supposed to be the influencer. And if I'm not doing service of that, I'm not being that light on the planet, that I'm doing a disservice. I'm becoming a part of this dark world. So essentially, it's not a weakness to feel. It's not a weakness to love. It's not a weakness to express your feelings. And women feel that way too. And men definitely have been programmed to feel that. They're by nature not emotional creatures, no. But if a man is of a heart and heart, it's like it's like alignment. Like, we are not aligned with the whole self. It's just like, what good are we, right? We might as well just be robots, shells. I thought I was about to pull some cards. No, the message is not within the cards. The messenger gives the message through the cards. So this was a long message. I didn't mean to do all that, like, for real. Like, I just I come on here and I just do it as I do it, okay? I thought I was going to bed, But then I'm sitting here listening to something, and then I'm just like getting all these downloads, and I'm these memory recalls, and I'm going back to these certain visions and certain things that were said. I'm just like, but I'm grateful for it though, because now I know, and now I can free myself of it. I can't go back now. Once you know, you can't go back. So now that I see that program is off, that spell that was casted is broken. When you receive the light, the darkness, you cast through it, right? So yeah, interesting times that we're in, I must say. I wanted to say one other thing. Dreams. My dreams have been so crazy, and I've been having a lot of warfare in my dreams. For you guys, I would say, like, to have a peaceful sleep, make sure that you set intentions and that you surround your space with light, and you calling your angels, your spirit guides, ask God to protect you while you sleep, protect your soul as you travel, and to keep out any dark energies or entities before you go to bed. And when you wake up, help me to remember any dreams that I've had. If I don't remember them, recall my dreams back to me, and so that I write them down, because God is speaking to us more than ever in our dreams. That's a given. That is one of the number one ways that God speaks to all of us in different ways, but one of the main ways is through our dream times, our sleep. And if babies can have dreams, if children can have dreams, best believe you're getting them too. Even animals, they be like twitching, they sleep, and like we all get dreams, but God downloads messages to us, and it's very profound. And don't just look at everything and gloss over it. Like I said, I've got plenty of warnings. Pay attention to the dreams that have darkness in them, because that's usually exposing the dark within something, or it's a dark influential dream. But like I said, I had that dream with that person talking about I'm their favorite neck, and in the dream I was like flattered by it because I was taking it as like something sexual, something kinky, but no, that's not what that meant. No. No, that's not what that meant. That was Spirit giving me a warning. And no, you have to also discern your dreams, what's coming from back here, the subconscious, your thoughts that you constantly play, your fears, versus what's an energy that's, you know, a dark energy or spirit trying to shed light on something dark, or when spirit's giving you a prophetic dream. And most of the time when the divine gives us dreams, it's very colorful. It has a lot of color. It might have sunlight in it, but you can see. It's very colorful. You can recall it. When you're having those dark dreams, it's usually at night, or it's like this dark, foggy, everything's dark colored. You don't feel good in the dream. But just cover yourself before you go to bed, and pay attention to your dreams and the messages in your sleep, in your dreams, because sometimes when we're just constantly, when we're awake, we're constantly being bombarded and overly stimulated by different things, by what's going on in our lives, people around us, the TV, the music. Oh, I gotta do this. Oh, I gotta cook dinner. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Let me go sit and watch TV. Oh, let me do this. But you forget to be centered in your spirit and pay attention. And I notice this too, even when I'm busy, spirit will still have me like look at certain things around me, like certain things in my environment will catch my attention, or I'll hear something. And because I'm so like busy, it won't hit me until I'm really like settled, or when I go to sleep and I have a dream. So sometimes that's one of the best way to get our attention, because we're more receptive to that. We're at a place of rest usually. Goodness. Yeah, so that is the message. That's it. Like, I'm done. And I wouldn't be on here that long, but I hope that this message resonated with you guys. I hope it was helpful. And yeah, much love as always. Be blessed, be safe.